Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Rankers Creations, and thank you for joining me today. I am doing something a little bit different today. That does not mean that this is a sort of permanent thing, but I am... So this isn't replacing repair live streams, this is just something I'm doing as well. It's a great idea that I came up with, and no one else came up with this idea, of ordering in some kits and then just building them during a live stream. I thought that might actually be a little bit fun for sort of to try out. I mean, it might be an absolute terrible disaster and failure, and it might be as boring as anything, but we'll just wait and see. So I want to say hello to Steve from Mac84, Sloopy Malibu, Obsidian Xenon, the Tech Doc, Quicksilver Oz, Ryan Joffrey. I say that wrong, don't I? I always say that wrong. I'm always saying it wrong. But I've forgotten now. And Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cooter, and K-Mac Vintage, Pretzel FTW, Ryan Design, Joe Williams, the Tech Doc, Everything is Broken Garage. I just need to apologise that I keep missing your live streams because you keep live streaming while I'm asleep. I won't take it personally as long as you don't. Frank S. I think I've already... Yeah, I think we're getting there. Chris Angelis, John, and Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. Hello there. So yes, hello to you all. I'm going to be trying out a couple of different soldering irons today as well. So this is one that I was using before. It's one that I'm doing a review on at the moment. It's the Kaiweets Kets 02. Which amuses Jay immensely because Kets is a slang word in Dutch. And is it? Yes, this is the cooking show. Yes, cooking show would be good. This is a slight problem in that a couple of minutes before doing the live stream, I went to go over here and switch on my trusty air conditioner. And the fan's not working. Nothing. I can hear the solenoid going click and click. So there's nothing wrong with the electronics side of it, but there is clearly something not right. A motor or a fuse or something. Didn't have time to actually try and repair it before the live stream. So today will be stinking hot live stream. The forecast for today is 37 degrees Celsius, which is, I think, Dana calculated that before. I think it's like 98 or something in the Fahrenheits. Something along those lines, or 96, I don't know. Hot. Very hot. Hello, Steve. Welcome. See the building of the machine that goes ping. This thing isn't that old, and it doesn't get used that much. Hello, Colin. How are you going? If only you had a fully equipped electronics repair shop. There is a slight problem with this. I can definitely repair it, but I literally do not have the space to repair this and like live stream it as well. Otherwise, I probably would have just changed the plans and said, hey, let's repair the air conditioner on this live stream. But I have this slight issue at the moment that it's big and my bench is small. So anyhow, we'll have to. I'm hoping it'll be a fairly straightforward fix, but it's, as I say, it's just not something I was able to fix before this. So I'm just going to change views here very quickly. I have to apologise. This camera is not the bestest of the bestest. Here is the kit. This is bought from Jaycar, which is a large sort of electronics chain here in Australia. You'll find Jaycar in all capital cities and probably some small ones as well. I mean, I got one within walking distance and another one within driving distance, so they're around. And anyhow, they do quite a lot of kits, and I've always been a big fan of kits that actually have a purpose. For example, this is one of my favourite kits. This is one of these component testers. It's very dirty because it gets used a lot, and there's all this backlight stuff. And this is a component tester. You can basically stick components in there and test them, and it'll tell you, like, it automatically senses. It's like, oh, okay, well you've just put a capacitor in there. Let's test the capacitor. Let's see if we can find a capacitor. I've got one here with a bulge. Here we go. Here's a nice bulgy capacitor. Let's see if I've got enough there to put that. Is it going to fit? Is it going to fit? Let's try. and then it will say testing, and it's detected it's a capacitor, and then it's saying no unknown or damaged part. So I'd say that the fact that it's bulging and the fact that it's testing bad all fits together. So I like doing those sorts of kits, ones that are, have a purpose at the end of them. Now this one here comes with a lovely big manual. It's 20 pages, this one, and there's quite a lot of good instructional stuff about just electronics in general, which is quite good. Obviously good for beginners. There's stuff here about identifying resistor values, and some people do go and memorize all this, but I just use an app. It's called Resistor Toolkit. 12 degrees C and rainy. Yeah, I would like that. I would like that. It is just going to get so bloody hot today. But anyhow, so I'm going to probably end up having to do this quite quickly, because otherwise I'm going to die of heat exhaustion. But I was talking about these soldering irons. So this is the KETS02. This is a soldering iron called a TS101. And this is probably the first of these kind of all-in-one. They're a bit of a lie, these soldering irons, I have to say, because you get this feeling like they're these cute little, all-in-one type things. But you need a power supply, and you need a big, chunky power supply to make these work. So, and then, of course, this is connected to a LUX USB-C cable, and this one's actually quite a thick one. It's very durable, it's very well made, but it is kind of a bit chunky. And so by the time you actually connect this up to a power supply, they're not actually that small. I suppose they're still small enough to go into a toolkit or something like that. 9C here in Canada. Wow, that's quite chilly actually. What is it? It's fall over there, or we call it autumn. Oh, hello, Retro Techie. I didn't see you there. Hello there. Welcome. I did try hitting it. I even poked it. Didn't work. Hey, you know what? Maybe I need to hit it harder. Didn't work. Didn't work. Anyhow. Oh, God. Look, I'm holding a soldering iron like this. Hey, yeah, let's go soldering. I haven't switched it on yet, so okay. So anyhow, this is the TS101. It used to be a TS100. The difference they've made is that this now has a USB-C connector. The old one had a micro USB. This is connected to a 65 watt power supply. And then this is the other one. This is the KETS 02. One of the things that there are a couple of things. I mean, I'm going to be doing some comparison. I'm doing a video on these at the moment. I'm going to be doing a few comparisons between these two. I definitely prefer the KETS for a number of reasons. The one thing that I do like about this one, though, is you can fairly easily hot swap these while it's hot. What I don't like about them is that the distance between where your fingers are and the tip is quite a long way. If we were to compare it to this, my gross one, I've got to clean this. I can hold that there, and you look at that distance from my fingers to where the tip is, compared to where my fingers would be and the tip is on that, and it's a good 2 centimeters, almost an inch longer. And the longer you are away, the longer your hands are away from the tip, the harder it is to control the tip for really fine work. So, anyhow, that's enough of that. Let's go and start building some things. I'm going to use this soldering iron today. This is the KETS02. Actually, I may tell you what, I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to start with the TS101 heating. There we go. It's on 300 degrees C. I need that to go way up. There we go. 400's as high as this one will go. My biggest bugbear with both of these soldering irons is they only have 2 buttons on them. And I would much prefer to have 2 buttons, left and right, and select. 3 buttons. Add a 3rd button, and to me it would be so much better. So I can sort of hold this here. Sort of hold it. There we go. I'll just pop that in there. With a power brick, as that gives more power and quicker keeps the heat better. This is a 20 volt 65 watt power supply, this one, so it's I've got a big chunky power supply here, but yeah, this one heats up pretty quick with this particular power supply. Yes, fancy Jaycar. All right, so let's have a quick look here at what we've got inside the box. We have got the case, which is nice. We have a sticker for sticking onto the front of the case. We have some solder, which I will not be using. We have, that looks like FLUX, I think. It's Dr. Rosen there. So I'm pretty sure that's some FLUX in there. We've got a little LCD display here. I mean, that looks like it was taped to something once upon a time, but it looks like it's still in one piece. So that's good. As the bottom of the case. And we've got a little piece of plastic, which I'm sure will be explained. So what that does. There's a little turny knobby thing there. We've got some probes. We have got... Okay, just checking. And then we have in here a few little miscellaneous bits and pieces. We've got springs, we've got screws. This is stuff you absolutely do not want to lose. This is the little thing that you can use for testing transistors. Fuse, I think I already said fuse. It looks like a ball bearing. It's all ball bearings these days. And then we've got our little PCB. Now, unfortunately for me, there's no surface mount soldering on this. I love surface mount soldering, but generally when you buy kits, they don't get you to do surface mount soldering, even simple surface mount soldering. So this is that rubbery stuff that transfers electricity through it, so that'll go to the LCD. And then we have our components here, and I love the way they're set up here. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? So lovely. That's really designed well for beginners. I think, you know, this is a great kit for someone who's just starting out, because you think that's really good. I mean, you don't even need to look up the bands to find the resistance. It's all just here for you. So it's really nice. Now, because this is a very extensive set of manual thing, this one actually gives some level of assembly instruction, and they're generally doing this the way I tend to do it, and that is I tend to do all of the smaller components first and then do the bigger ones. So we've got okay, all right. So I think we'll probably just need to get into it. Let's just have a look and see if we've actually got some writing on the board here. So resistor 1. Okay, so they're telling us what resistor is which. There's nothing written on here about what the which component should go on. So in other words, you're not going to be able to do this without a parts list to tell you what goes where. I think there is actually just a complete parts list here somewhere. Here we are. Parts list. BOM, Bill of Materials. We've got a distracted Bruce. Yes, you have got a distracted Bruce. Yeah, that's like a bird. One of the big issues that I do have at the moment in terms of distraction is that it's so hot in here. Yep. All right. So, I've got a buzzer. Am I putting a buzzer on this? Okay. Well, I think we're going to start sticking some resistors on. Generally, when I do this, I will put quite a few in and then just solder them all. Boom, 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 boom. Hello, Bulkarder59. Welcome to the stream. So, as I've sort of mentioned before, I'm just doing something a little bit different here. That doesn't mean it's replacing my repair live streams. It's just something to do that's a bit different. I've already ordered the next kit that I'm going to be building for my next kit building live stream, and it is a Bluetooth speaker. I will probably post links to it soon in case people want to play along at home. So, do I just go in and do it this way, or do I go in and do it the way that I'll follow these? It'll make me feel better. It'll make me feel better if I follow this. R15. It's not even in numerical order. R15. Are the words above it? Yeah, the words are above it. So, R15, out you come. Now, you know, if I build this and it doesn't work, how bad that makes me look. I've really taken a risk with this. It's for everyone's benefit, just letting you know. Okay, so these holes are actually narrower than the width of a resistor, so this is going to have to go in vertically. Like like that. I don't know if should I zoom in a bit? I should probably zoom in a bit. Yeah. Sorry for the wobbles. Okay, so I'm going to mount that in sort of vertically like that. I'm going to bend these pins, but only a little. I don't like pins that are bent too much. I'm just going to solder this one in now, only because it's wonky. All right, let's try out the old TS. Fond memories of putting together Dick Smith Funway kits. Indeed, indeed. For the benefit of people who don't know who Dick Smith is, he was a sort of an entrepreneur from the 1980s, set up electronic stores called Dick Smith Electronics. He also was known colloquially as the Electronic Dick. And he, let's do the first solder. He ended up selling I don't like it. He ended up selling. I'm having real trouble getting heat here. I'm not very happy with Mr. TS100. He's jumping up and down and up and down and up and down. Just don't feel like that's getting super hot. Maybe something's wrong with the thermostat. It's sort of saying it's just jumping up and down and up and down. So, okay. Bored with you. Let's try this one. Kiwis. There we go. Taking this up to 420. That's the maximum this one will do. It's heating up. Heating up. Where is Jay? Well, Jay should be here. It's a disgrace if he's not. He will be copping lots of grief. I just don't think he liked my idea of doing soldering kits. That idea that was totally mine and no one else's. Okay, well, it's soldered on. There we go. Just a little snip. Okay, that's the first component on there. Let's see if we can do the rest a little bit faster. So, C2. Why are we putting capacitors on already? C2. C2. Q1. What? Oh, wow. That is really confusing. Okay. D3. R32. Okay. C1. C2. That is really annoying. 104. 104, that's 10 with, that's what, 100,000. What? That. Let's put it in the little testaroonie thing and just see what it is. Here we go. 105 nanofarad. 100 nanofarad. There we go. It is the right one. So everything is fine. These particular types of capacitor here, monolithic capacitor, they are not polarized. So they can go in any way I want. And then we've got C1. That's this little guy. Whoopsie, I just dropped all my components. There's C1. In she goes. So, Anyone seen any good shows lately? Any good movies? Any good films? One. $150 kilo. Just going to check this one because it's just the way this little components thing is laid out. It's really hard to tell if I'm actually grabbing the right component or not. I could look at the bands, but it will actually be quicker for me to just do this than look at the bands. Testing. 1 to 3. 144 kilo ohms. Yep, that's 150. Close enough to 150. Near enough is good enough, eh? When does stuff ever have to be accurate for electronics? Joe is here. Hello there, Joe. I hope you are well. Sorry I missed the retro repair roundup yesterday. I was sleeping off sort of a what would you call it? Hangover? Is that what they call them? I had a fairly big night the night before, in that my team won the grand final. And so I was up quite late, drinking and celebrating with some friends. And so the next morning, I slept in. I was actually thinking of doing a live stream later in the day, but I just never got the energy. Snippity snoop. Snippity snippity snoop. One of the big problems I have with doing this, and this is something I'm going to have to see if I can figure this out. If I'm going to do more of these kit assembly live streams, I'm going to have to try and figure out what I'm going to do with the camera, because if I want to work on this, I need to work on it like that, and that's not particularly good viewing. So maybe I set up a camera coming in at an angle or something like that. I mean, I do have this angled camera. Let's try this. This might work better. Let's try it, shall we? Whoops, that's the scope. There we go. So let me just zoom in here with this, and we'll see if this is something which is functional. There we go, look at that. Alright. We'll wait for that to finish wobbling. And then I can sort of hover my head over it like that, and we can still see it. So that actually works out quite well, don't you think? Okay, what are we looking at here? There's Mandalorian series and Ahsoka. Ahsoka, is that how that's said? Imagine that I know the first 3 Star Wars movies really well, and nothing else. Heard the creator is good. Yeah, it looks interesting, doesn't it? I've seen the shorts for that, and it was enough to make me interested, I can tell you that. Right, that's the first thing I do is I move it out of the camera. There we go, there we go, there we go. So, next one is C4. That's explosive, isn't it? C4. Oh, I can use C3 or C4. They're both the same size. Just trying to get the feel for it. C4. Come on. Get in there, you thing. ROMs for the shop. Cool bananas. ROMses. Okay, let's see, 4. And then R3. R3. Boop a boop. I really don't like these vertically mounted resistors. It just, I don't know, I just don't like them as much. Makes me cross. 3, C3. C3. C3PO. See, I know that. I watched a bit of The Mandalorian. I watched, like, I think most of the first series. Maybe even all of the first series. I think I watched all of the first series and then sort of tuned out a little bit during the second series. Trying to figure this out. Let me go that way. No. Crap. This is really hard to figure out which way I'm supposed to be going. Supposed to be going that way. There we go. Eric, hello there. This soldering iron gets warm. It gets really warm. I mean, it doesn't actually feel like it's the iron warm. It's warm up this end, up the back. It's warm up here. That's weird. Okay. I'm not using any additional flux for this sort of soldering. I tend not to when I'm doing through-hole soldering. I tend to only use flux when I'm doing surface mount soldering. There is flux rosin. Dr. Rosin. There is rosin flux in the center, in the core of this solder, and that works quite well for surface mount soldering. You can just melt as you solder. And it fluxes away. Are you building a Kaiwitz KM601 smart digital multimeter? No, I'm not. And so I expect this to be a fairly lame sort of soldering iron, but that's okay. It's all part of the fun of building it. C5. This is big brown. It's a big brown one. See, look at that. Big brown. It's sort of more reddish though, isn't it? C5. And R14. These do get easier as you go because as you fill in all the components there are fewer gaps, so you're able to find what you're looking for a lot quicker. I watched the Barbie movie the other day. Quite sure what to think of that, to be honest. Felt like they weren't really sure what message they were trying to say. Had some moments of brilliance, I thought. There were some very funny parts. But ultimately I just sort of felt like they didn't really know what they wanted to say. It's kind of weird. But anyhow. I am using a Kaiwitz Ketz 02 soldering iron today. This is part of me testing this soldering iron. And the only way to test the soldering iron is to use it. And so it's me using it. And this has a lot of good things going for it. I'm not sure about whether I would recommend this over a separate iron base station type unit. The one that I recommend in my in the what do you call those things? In the description of the video is one of these KSGER, or I've got one. The brand of mine is actually called a Shine Now. Don't shine tomorrow. Don't shine yesterday. Shine now. So it's a Shine Now there. I will only ever recommend irons that use T12 tips. Simple as that. C4 and soldering. Barbie is the highest grossing movie in Warner Brothers history. That's quite extraordinary, isn't it? I'm not sure if that's a sign of the quality of the movie or how bad other movies have been lately. All right, where do we get to? We've done 14, 30. Okay, well, I've done one side. So now I can move to the next side. R5. Where's R5? Where's R5? Oh, of course. R5's in between R4 and R27. That's where you'd find R5. I've been watching sort of English, sort of what would you call them, kind of like thriller shows lately. They're very well made, very entertaining, really good character development, that sort of stuff. 30. R30. We're playing Resistor Bingo. R30. And VR1. Ooh, I'm not putting VR in yet. That's too chunky. I'm going to put that in later. R6. Shipped on Amazon. Let me have a look. I generally don't recommend anything that's not T12. So if it's T12, let me just check. Amazon. I'm searching now. Searching now. Looking for a soldering iron. V. I didn't paste it. What a thing. Yeah. It makes that impossible. It makes it impossible. Okay, great. Now I've got spinning beach ball. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hope I'm still streaming. Appears to be still streaming. You'd think it'd be really easy to just do a search, wouldn't you? But for some reason, at the moment, it's not. So here we go. I'm going to just type it in manually, using my hands. Why? HUA 925. Okay, let's have a look at that. It's got that on AliExpress, but you're saying it was on Amazon. Let me just have a look at the AliExpress one. This one was a 995D. You said, yeah, 929. 929, is that what I said? Nope. Oh, not, hey, what? So what? 929V. 929V, okay? All right. 929V. 929 DV. There we go. Oh man, what's coming up here? Here we go. All right, we found an Amazon link. That's a solder sucker. Is that right? Looks like a solder sucker. I don't think it has crashed. I think we're all good. Steve's computer crashed the last stream. There was some weird stuff going on the last stream I watched of Steve's. There was little error things just popping up on his screen constantly. Okay, this is R6 that I'm putting in here. Colin, I have a question for you. Please don't go away before it, because I asked last time, and I don't know either you had already gone or you answered it and I missed the answer. You did a video recently on a Macintosh Classic, or was it a Classic 2? I think it was a Classic. And you replaced... Yeah, OBS is definitely frozen. I've got a spinning beach ball, but it seems to be still working. And you you adjusted the voltage using the little potentiometer. And I just wanted to know, you didn't show any before-after images of the screen after adjusting the voltage. Did it fix the wobble? And I'm just curious about that. So now I'm watching intently to see if you're actually still there. I am error. I seriously have the spinning beach ball. I mean, it's still streaming. I think it's still working, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to change views ever again. No, look at that spinning beach ball. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, wow, that's amazing. So here's a nice little bug. The edit the edit menu is just flickering. Blah, 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 blah. So we're stuck with this view for eternity, and I may never be able to end this stream. It did fix the wobble. Okay, that is interesting to note, because I've had quite a few where they've had the voltage out, adjusted the voltage, and they're still wobbling. So I was just curious. Right, let's just solder these 3. I wonder if OBS will survive the stream. So, quick question for you, Steve. Am I able to quit out of OBS and start it again and maintain this same live stream? I've never ever tried to do that. Oh, geez, that is just the ugliest soldering joint you've ever seen. There we go. A little bit of flux fixes it. So you need to be set to not quit on loss of connection. Oh, okay. Where do I set that? I'm going to go into my little settings, because OBS is definitely having a meltdown. And when I was trying to copy that text out, something just broke it in a big way. So I am going to go here to my settings. I may not be able to make settings changes after streaming already, but we'll see. Hello, chickens. And we're going to live, and then we go here to, just to see if it'll let me change anything here. Edit, details, customization. Details. Show more. No. I have no idea where that setting is. I'd be very curious to know. Oh, look at all that, Jay. The YouTube stream settings need to be set to not quit on loss of connection, but I don't know where that is. If you use the same stream keys, I believe it will stream to the same thing. Go live, edit current stream, yep. Oh, it's back. It's come back. We're all good. It's okay. It's stopped doing its thing now. Whatever it was doing, it's stopped. Yeah, I'm in control again. Everything is fine. We're fine now. How are you? There we go. Phew. Jay is here. Hello there, Jay. I'm glad you arrived here for this live stream about me doing a kit, which is completely and totally my idea and no one else's. Chooks are good. Let's say hello to the chooks. They look like they're frozen. That looks like it's frozen. Which does happen sometimes. It often just starts working again. It's usually network related because the camera is Wi-Fi. I have it cabled, but the cable connection works worse than the Wi-Fi does for some reason. This stream is such a visionary idea. I had to be there to witness it. So, just... oh, there we go. It started up again. It's very blowy out there, as you can tell. Good bushfire weather. Oh, I forgot to do this.
Smash that like button.
Yay. Oh, lost the tricks again. Okay, let's go back to the side view, because we are building a kit here, and I intend to build this kit come hook or crook. Hook or by crook, something like that. Okay, so R6 we've done. R7. Here's a little one. You missed the chickens. Where's the chickens? Now you can only see two there at the moment. There's the brown one, which is the blind one, having a bit of a dust bath at the moment. There, just near the base of that tree. And then there's the big, oh no, there's three you can see at the moment. There's the great big Australorp now that's just telling those pigeons to piss off. And then the other one, the two black ones that are a very similar size, and from this I can't actually tell which one that is, but it's one of the other black ones. So, there we go. Oopsie. Okie doke. Oh, this was R7, wasn't it? Boop, 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 boop. R4. R2. We'll find it. We'll find it. We'll find it. R2's here somewhere. There it is. Right under R19. I feel like C7 should have gone in a while ago. A little spot for it. Okay, so for the Mac people in the world, has anyone here yet updated to Sonoma? If you're not a Mac person, you may not be aware that Apple officially released Sonoma, which is, what is it, 14 or 15? I don't know. Version. And I have resisted the temptation at the moment, only because I generally like to wait until they're at like an 01 or 02 release, rather than just going the O. I'm quite looking forward to changing, because I haven't had the best experience with Ventura. But because this is my main production computer that I'll be putting it on, I need to be very sure that everything is going to be fine, because I cannot afford downtime, because it's very important. Only a few hours so far, so good. What's a bad solder sucker? The big problem with soldering suckers is that the very nature of the technology involved means that if they're cheap, they typically don't work terribly well, because there are a lot of things that have to work. You've got to have a good powerful pump to suck the solder out. The one that you showed is the sort that's actually like a mechanical one, but it's sort of, the tip melts. And I would argue that you will probably get exactly the same results, or very similar results, just using a soldering iron and a mechanical solder sucker like the one that I have floating around here somewhere. And I would think that those ones that, just have the heated tip, but you still have to prime them, I know they might be fantastic. I don't know. I have never actually tried one, but I haven't heard particularly good things said about them. But when it comes to the solder sucker, I'm not even sure if I have a link in my thing for solder suckers, which is funny. I don't use them very much. They work well under certain circumstances. They're great for power supplies, because when you're working with those larger components, they're pretty good for that. If you're trying to desolder things like ICs or RAM slots or something like that, they generally don't work terribly well for that. There's one, I think it's Rhino brand. I can't remember the code. I think Steve might have one. Steve might remember. R2, we did R2. R12, there we go. R12, there we go. Maybe C7 doesn't even get used. That happens sometimes. The old unneeded pads. We see them a lot in technology. Oh, my camera, I've just got the camera in a stupid spot. How about I move it so it's actually somewhat close to what I'm actually doing? There we go. That's probably a better view. We'll get it right eventually, guys. This is an experiment. We're just trying it out. Oh, God, I keep getting caught on this stupid freaking power supply. There we go. All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Good. There is there's a Hacko make a desoldering station, and I quite like the look of it. The only problem I have is Hacko products here in Australia are obscenely expensive. And if you're going to buy a Hacko here from a provider or something like that, they just cost an absolute fortune. So what I generally do is I buy them from US Amazon, but the solder sucker is a 110 volt thing. It's the soldering station, varying voltage, it doesn't matter. You can plug it into, I think, 110 or 240 and you're fine. But the solder sucker is actually a specifically 110 volt thing. So that's not good for me because we use 240 volts here. Okay, so I'm just going to see here, that one, the one that's missing that I feel like it should have something there is C7. I'm just going to see if there is a C7. No, there's no C7. So someone obviously decided that was not necessary. Are we going to put the variable resistor in? Let's do that now, eh? It is going to make the board a little lumpier than it was before, but that's okay. Here it is. One little variable resistor. Going in. I'm going to put a little bit of solder on this first, just like this. Soldery-oldery, like that. Then I'm going to push it down and remelt it. So, do this, make sure it's flush. Then let it dry. Yep, seems flush. Ta-da! Okay, variable resistor. Isn't this looking flash now? I do reckon that's looking flash. Wild. Yeah. Right, we get to turn the page now. Turn the page. R32. We are further down here. We're working in this region now. R32. Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay. So this is a thermistor. This is it here. Look at this little guy. Little blobby dude. Let's put him on, shall we? R32. There we go. I was making bingo jokes before, but yes, Battleship's better. So for any of the Australians watching, and particularly ones from Sydney, I would say, I want to see if you're rugby league fans, NRL fans, because we had the rugby league grand final on, what day was it? Saturday. It's hard to tell because it was a long weekend last weekend, so Monday was a public holiday here in Sydney. Today is actually a work day. I had planned to live stream during the long weekend, but that just didn't end up happening. So you're getting me today instead. And R20. R20. 20. And R8. Getting a bit of a flow going now. Have this done in no time, which is good because it's hot in here. And windy. Well, it's not windy in here, but it's windy out there. 10. Oh, this is a nice flat down one. Come on. There we go. All right. 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay, we'll just solder those ones for the moment. I heard rugby didn't have winners, only survivors. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I think the beeping is just a piezo buzzer, or piezo. So I don't think I'll have a lot of control over the sound that it can make. It'll just go beep. Geez, I hope they're meant to be joined, because these two little holes are so close together. I guess they must be. Yeah, they have to be. They have to be. Ah! Ah! We actually had two grand finals this weekend. We had the grand final for the AFL, which is the Australian Football League. And then we had the NRL, which is the National Rugby League. National Rugby League. And this is Rugby League, which is different to Rugby Union. It's quite a different game. I mean, a lot of similarities, of course, but quite a different game. But it was, yeah, it was quite the game. Huge comeback from the Penrith team. The last minute. Now we're going to be sticking a transistor in here, Q1. Now it's the only transistor we've got here by the looks of it. So, where's it go? You tell me. Q1, there. In goes a little transistor. I know which way around it goes because of the screen printing on this. They've got a little bulge which indicates the little bulge from the component. Gut Bomb loves AFL. See, I'm not much of an AFL fan. It's generally, in my experiences, it's more of a Melbourne and, well, sort of Victoria and South Australia type thing. We do have two teams in the AFL, but I can tell you from experience that we definitely don't follow AFL as intently as they do in Victoria. Having said that, I did watch the grand final, because why not? Okay, Q1 R18. R18. Here we go. R18. And R19. Oopsie doopsie. One thing we can be fairly sure of today, with the weather such that it is here in Sydney, is there will be bushfires. It's virtually impossible to end up with a day in the high 30s that's very windy. You will get bushfires. Pretty much guaranteed. Still sitting on 31. I would have thought it'd be warmer than that. Oh, poo. I don't like where I've positioned this resistor. There we go, that's better. That's better. Okay. Was it an NPN or a PNP? That's a very good question. It might actually tell me. It's a 9013. How about that? Might tell me in the parts list at the front. That's all the resistors. No. Q1 9013. It just says 9013 transistor. So I don't know. Right, so that's that side done. So now we're doing this side, R21. We're definitely getting a lot fewer components on here, so I'm hoping that means we'll be finished soon. 21. D3 has a diode. Got him Hoyer. Now I happened to see this before, that the way this diode is meant to be put in, there's a little instruction-y thing there. I need to have it with the band up. So D3. Now this will be, when I initially assemble it, I will test it, but I expect the results to be probably a little bit out, because there's this whole section on this on calibrating it, and you need to have another multimeter to calibrate it. And I will do that, but I probably won't do that on this live stream, because I feel like that it'd be bloody boring. I was watching the TV yesterday morning, and they were out interviewing people who had watched the grand final, and obviously their team had won, so they were very excited. And the interviewer went up to them and said, "How do you feel about the win?" And this woman just says, "This is morning TV." Someone was a little bit slow on the button. Let's just put it that way. And this person just said, "It's effing unreal," and broadcast nationwide. There you go. Okay, that was R21, D3, R22. It's getting pretty bare, this thing. 22. There's just there's a little row of resistors down the side here, so this part should be pretty easy. Ding, ding. 23. R24. Any interesting mods that can be done? Well, I can certainly make it so that it's inaccurate. I've got lots of opportunity for that. I can twiddle around with all the little adjustment potentiometer thing, and I can make it really, really inaccurate. Yeah, that's the birds you can hear at the moment. They're rainbow lorikeets. So if you want to get an idea of what a rainbow lorikeet looks like, if you jump onto Google and search for rainbow lorikeet, that's what you see. It's like a little colourful parrot. Actually, it's not that little. They're quite a sizable thing, but they're not as big as some of the other birds around here. Yeah, they're a very pretty bird, but they fly around in big groups, and a lot of the time when they are flying around in a group, they talk to each other constantly. So they're like, "You there? Yeah, I'm here. You there? Yeah, I'm here. You there? Yeah, I'm here." Uh, 35, 26. I'm just going to put all these in and then solder them together because they're all in a big row. Nice pretty row. Do. Yes, they're a very pretty bird. Very pretty bird. And very common around here as well. They're everywhere. 27. This is the last of the components on that cardboard piece. We have done it, people. Oh, wow, look at that temperature, 34 degrees. Hooray. Right, let's solder all of these suckers. Just once again, I am doing this soldering with a Kaiweets Kets 02, Kets 02. I am doing a review on this iron at the moment, and I will provide my full opinion on it in time. There are things I like about it, there are things I don't like about it. The one thing that's holding me up at the moment, I'm just waiting to hear back from them, because I need to find out where one buys replacement tips for it. Because I had a look on their website and you can buy a set of like 6 tips, but I'm like, yeah, okay, but what if I don't want 6? What if I just want to replace one? Because tips do wear out. I'd probably replace my iron tip once every, probably once a year, maybe a bit more often than that. Particular with the work that I'm doing when I'm soldering, where I'm often using the tip of the iron to sort of clean a surface. You know, I'll be rubbing it backwards and forwards, and it just wears it down over time. Always keep a spare, because I have had a couple of times where I've just pushed down a little bit too hard, and I have actually snapped the tip off. I'm just snipping off all the excess here, using my little trusty little side cutters. What if they provide a schematic of this? Swathe of resistors here. Just concerned about these ones, whether they are meant to join together, and I'm pretty sure they are, yeah, or not, maybe. I'm just going to just jump across to the microscope for a quick sec. You'll see why in a moment. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Here, you can see all these resistors running down the side here, and I've ended up with some of these joining together here. And I don't know if they're meant to join together. I'm going to just get a little bit of solder wick, if I can find some solder wick, and have a little look. Oh, it's fallen down on the floor. That's where everything ends up, on the floor. Oof. Yeah, they're joined. I can actually see the... You can see the little trace there that shows that they are meant to be joined, so it doesn't matter that I was a little bit heavy-handed with the solder there. Yeah, I haven't looked at the chat in ages. How's everyone going? They look like Hacko type tips. Yes, so the Where are we? Side view. This is a Hakko T12 tip. There are lots of copies. You know, if you're wanting to save some money, you don't have to spend money on the genuine Hakko ones, but this is a Hakko T12 tip. Now, these ones that appear in these other irons, such as the Kets 02, they're a variation of it. Now, this is really hard to actually do hot, but this tip is only about that long. So it's actually like a shortened down version of a T12. And it's the same on this. This is the TS101, and this has this kind of really weird looking tip with this lumpy sticky outy bit there. The one good thing I will say about this is that they generally don't get hot down here, so you can usually hot swap these even when they're switched on. Hot swapping a tip mid-iron is, to me, a very, very important thing. Should we go and see which chicken is making all that noise? Oh, it's frozen again. There we go. Can't see it. It's the big black one, but we can't see it. I don't know where it is. So, never mind. Hershey Kisses shaped solder joints. We don't have Hershey chocolates out here. Right. Now, I think that's all of those components. So now we start getting onto all these fancy ones. So here we go. Remove the clear protective film from the front of the LCD. Do not remove the white backing. Oh, hang on. Saw the following parts, then mark a check in the box provided. I am not going to do that. I will not do that. Insert the narrow end of the 3 input sockets into the PC board from the top. What? I already did that one. End of the 3 input sockets into the PC board. Figure E. Figure E? Figure E. Input sockets. Aha! Narrow end of the 3 input sockets. Okay, alrighty. I've seen these. They're in the box. They're in the little container. There's 3 of them. Uno. Duo. Trace. And size. Like that. And they go in like that. 1, 2, 3. And then I've got to solder them in. This would actually be really good to hold in a what do you call those things? What do you call those things? You know, board holder. This is something that does actually require quite a bit of heat, because I've got to get this inner thing hot, and I've got to get this pad hot. And I've managed to get solder on the inside of it, which is, I'm sure, something you're not meant to do. There we go. Right, so I'm just thinking about what is the best way to do this. I'm not even sure whether I may even do this with hot air, so I can get it really, really toasty. Let's see. I must confess, the solder just does not seem to want to stick to those little metal things. I am going to get something to support this board, because it is, I need to apply pressure, and I can't apply pressure at the moment because it's, yeah, just cause. May as well use the air conditioner as a shelf, seeing as it's not working as an air conditioner at the moment. So I'm going to move the camera in a moment so that it's directed at the board. But this is my little PCB holder, which I use from time to time. They're quite a nifty little thing to have. I recommend having one if you are going to be doing a lot of kits. I'm not sure if I've got a link in the description, but you will find these readily on Amazon and the like. There we go. Just zooming out a little. There we go. Yeah, that's enough. I sort of feel like I probably should have done this right at the start. What do you guys think? Well, we live and learn. This is why we're doing a trial of this. All right, now let's see if we can get enough heat onto this and melt that. I might have to go to my old Hacko for this. I might need the extra oomph. I'll just put a little bit of flux here on, I'll say this one here. We'll do the middle one and just see what we can do here. I'm very sorry to hear about the passing of your dad, Ryan. I lost my father a few years ago as well, and it is not easy. You sort of, I mean, I know it's illogical to think this way, but you sort of think, oh, you know, always going to be there, you know. But I was very good friends with my dad as well. We got on very well with him. So, yeah, it's very sad. Very, very sad. I need some tweezers. Tweezers will be good. Okay, now, it's... I'm not particularly happy with the join on that. It doesn't really feel like it's properly melting. It's properly adhering to the socket. It just feels like it's only adhering to the pad. But, you know. I have ended up using some tacky flux on this. He didn't say to use flux, but I know when I need flux. I know when I need a fume extractor as well. When I apply solder to this, the little rings sort of rise up. So that's why I've shoved some tweezers in the middle of them so I can push them down a little bit. Ow! Freaking hot. Okay, let's just clean some of that excess flux off, because we can do without that. Hearing the sirens going off, probably fire engines. So anyhow, that seemed to work fairly well. Just putting it in this holder was enough so that I could actually get some pressure pushing down so that I was getting better heat transfer. And once I could feel that heat getting transferred on there, you could just see the solder starting to work its way around the top of it. So if I bring that on side on now, you can see it's just sort of all the way around. And these they're pretty solid. I don't think they're going anywhere. So that's good. All right, so that's that one. Insert the shunt wire. Shunt. Where's the shunt wire? It's probably in here somewhere. Is it just going to be... I found the shunt wire. It's a whopper of a thing. Shunt. Look at that. Look at that great big whopper of a thing. Whopper of a shunt. Insert the shunt wire R9 into PC board holes from the component side as shown in figure E. Adjust the wire so that it sticks out the other side of the PC board 1/8 of an inch. What? What is a frickin' inch? This is an Australian product. 1/8 of an inch. Three millimeters. That's about 3 millimeters. I'm good with that. Okay. Got to solder it from this side. Okie dokie. Now this thing is just going to suck up so much heat, so I'm going to have to just leave this here for a bit, get it nice and hot. Okay. Hold on a piece of water on the component side. Only cut excess leads flush. Cut them with what? This thing's massive. Cut them flush. Wow. Is this even going to cut those? I mean, I hope it's soft. Oh yeah. Ow! It shot into me. Okay, so that's good. As if Australia never used inches ever. We did before 1966, so... No, they don't. No, they don't. The side cutters are still beautiful, pristine-ish. And they're actually pretty old, so they are a little bit knocked around, but they didn't seem to suffer from that too much. That shunt is actually quite soft. Right, so next one is be sure that the 8-pin transistor socket will slide easily through its hole in the top case from either direction. If it does not, carefully slide it through the hole several times in each direction to remove any burrs. Do not push on the socket leads or they will be damaged. Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about, but never mind. Something has just occurred to me here. Oopsie, that's an important part. Oopsie. I mean, unless something really weird has happened, I actually think this kit is missing the main IC. I don't recall ever seeing it when I have inspected the case. So we have this with all of our little components, but we have where is it? The IC is under the black blob. Oh, of course it is. Yeah. So what's it saying? Be sure the 8-pin transistor socket. Oh, 8-pin transistor socket. Thank you for putting my brain in place. It was something else that I had seen. I was looking at another kit recently that had a great big dip IC, and I've got them mixed up with this one. I've been looking at lots of kits lately for this reason. And so yes, you're right. That's the IC there. That's the brains behind it. So. All good. So we've got to make sure this fits through here, because this is going to go through here. So they're saying make sure that this fits through. So push it through a couple of times. Yeah, that fits fine. No burrs. It's all good. If it does not, insert the socket into the PC board holes from the solder side as shown in figure E. Hello, figure E. So that is going to Solder side, they say. Solder side. Solder side. You'd think they'd put some screen printing on it, wouldn't you? But they haven't. So I'm having a bit of a guessing game as to which way around they're supposed to go. It's there, and it's that one, by the looks of it. So I think that's correct. Better be. Yep, that's the way. Thingamabloob. Okay, alright, let's solder this sucker on. So I'm just going to get a little bit of solder onto the tip of my iron, and I'm going to hold this in place. Oh, crap. It doesn't go that way. Ugh. Okay, and then just going to try and transfer a bit of solder onto one of these pins just to hold it in place. But I've lost, my solder has now oxidized, so I'm going to have to use a little bit of flux. There we go. So that's now held in just by one pin, but that's enough to keep it in place so that I can then solder another pin. I'll just make sure that's nice and flush. There we go. How are you holding up in the shed without air conditioning? It's not too bad. I mean, it's awful, but I'm kind of just I'm all right for the moment. I'm all right for the moment. I won't want to hang out here all day. I can tell you that for sure. So now we move to the next one. Okay, feed the battery snap wires up through the holes in the PC board from the solder side as shown in figure E. So the red wire into the hole marked plus, black wire into the hole marked minus, as shown. Solder wires to the board. Do you know this even comes with a battery? I'm impressed with that. I mean, I don't know why I'm impressed with that, but I'm impressed with that. It comes with a battery. Okay. Feed them up through the holes. I need to look at the figure because I've got no idea. Here we go. It's over that end. There we go. Plus or minus. So feed them up through the solder side, they said. That's what they said. Oh, piffle. Alrighty, we're happening. Right, let's solder those in. Looking good. Thankfully with this shed, it heats up quite quickly because it gets a lot of the morning sun on the roof. But once the sun passes a certain point, it's then in shade because of the humongous tree that we have there. So it stops getting the direct sunlight on the roof. It then just becomes all the ambient heat. The hottest part of the day is probably going to be around about, what is it saying? About 3 to, oh no, actually it's 1 p.m. it's going to hit 36. So it's going to be nice, isn't it? Do you come from a land down under? Yep, I do. Even if the guy who sings that song is Scottish. Okay, insert the 2 fuse clips into the PC board holes on the component side. Now this is going to be a bit tricky because the fuse holes are right where the what do you call that thing? The where I'm holding this at the moment. So I'll have to just hold this from a different location temporarily. Maybe there. They're just there. There we go. Do they treat Land Down Under as a kind of second national anthem? You know what does tend to get treated like a second national anthem? Is Waltzing Matilda. Now, but having said that, you know, Land Down Under, you'll often hear, you know, bands covering it and doing different versions of it and all that sort of stuff. But yes, it's a song you will hear a lot of. There was a version of it performed at the Rugby League Grand Final on the weekend with an Indigenous band doing it and singing it in their own native tongue, which was pretty darn impressive, I thought. You're going to get that song in my head now. I'm just, I'm just going to take this out. Just want to bend these pins enough so that these stay in for me to solder. Are they staying in? No, they're not. Oh, crap. Now, the problem is that I can't hold these in place because they are metal, or they will get blazingly hot and then I'll burn my fingers. And we can't be having that. So I've got to find some way of holding these steady. I really should do one at a time. A smart man would do one at a time. I could use tape. It's not sticking to the componenty thingy. I'm not getting enough heat to it. There we go. That took some time. Okay. Now, if I can heat from this side, get it down, sort of feeling like I should maybe put the fuse in it so that it holds it straight. Okay, I think that's good enough for me. So here's for a cookie. Bit on toast with butter, yes. Actually, I'll be honest, I like Marmite as well. It's a little sweeter than Vegemite, but I do enjoy it. And there are some days when I do actually reach for the Marmite instead of the Vegemite. Oh, you stupid moron. Just referring to myself there. Okay, that'll do. It'll do. It'll do. It'll do. Do you want Multimeter for the kick of it or because it's better homemade? Well, that's a matter of opinion, isn't it? I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be better. I think this is going to be a pretty lame little multimeter, but it's all about the fun of build. Fun of the build. For me, it is anyway. So let's just check it so it still looks all right. Yep, we're all good. I think that's pretty straight. I think that'll hold the fuse in there quite comfortably. So that's good. There's the fuse. We're getting close here. We're getting close. Okay, turning the page even. Remove the clear protective film from the front of the LCD. Do not remove the white backing. Insert the LCD into the case. Here's the case. Here's the LCD. Now, where's this coating? I don't think it has a protective coating, to be honest. I think it's a lie. Oh no, it does. Yeah, it wasn't a lie. And we insert it in here. I dare say it's going to go in this way. Putting it in like that. There we go. It's in. There is the LCD. That was figure G. Raised area on case. Yeah, it's in the right spot, because they have to be in the exact same spot, because they've got to line up perfectly with the pads on this to send the electricity through. I think that's a Monty Python reference there, Joe. Would I be correct in that? I'm not sure how to pronounce your surname, but I assume it's like Gerard Cousinot or something like that. It was the other Joe. Yes. So there is a reference. There's a reference, a spam reference, because there was a spam sketch in Monty Python where they go into a restaurant and everything is spam. All right. So insert the LCD in the case. Be sure to insert the LCD. Blah, blah, blah. Place the zebra onto the grooved surface of the LCD. Place the figure H. Oh, that's the zebra. I never knew they were called a zebra. I think I can see why they're called a zebra, but I did not know they were called a zebra. And so this is it here. It's a little rubbery thing. We see them with LCDs all the time. And it's... I assume it's called a zebra because it's sort of light, dark light. And the stuff in the middle actually transmits electricity. So it goes from one side to the other. And it transmits it in a line that way. So it doesn't transmit sideways. It just transmits that way, front to back. And so we're going to put this. There's a little piece of plastic. I've seen it. There it is. And we go to zebra clip. Goes that way. Zebra goes in. So there's our zebra. Hello, zebra. And here is our zebra clip. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'm feeling very accomplished today. Alright. HI. What's next? Spring. Solder the spring to the solder pad on the legend side of the PC board as shown on figure I. I have got to tell you, I am not a big fan of soldering springs. And you know why that is? Because they move. They go pa-choom. But I'm going to have to do it. It's the big one. It's the big spring, because there's little springs as well. Let's get the big spring. Have to head off to bed. Good night, Frank S. Thank you for joining. Okay, here's the spring. And I am so scared of losing this. I think I'll probably, maybe, I don't know. I might dip a bit of flux on the end of this. Oh, I can dip it into that because this flux thingy is leaking. There we go. And then let's just pop that there like that. It's very smoky, isn't it? Is it soldered? I think it's soldered. There we go. Whee! seems to be stuck on pretty well. I've flicked it a bit there. Your order's on the way. I clearly bought something on eBay. Wonder what it was. Sounds a little bit flat though. Okay, now, solid spring, okay, that's cool. Cut open the plastic envelope containing the grease. Oh, it was grease. Put a small amount of grease on each spring hole of the selector knob as shown in figure J. So I thought it was flux, but it's grease. How about that? Greasy, greasy. And put a small amount of grease in each spring hole of the selector knob. This will help hold the springs in. So where are the spring holes? Spring holes. Spring holes. There we are. There's the spring holes. New, new, new. And good. And whoopsie. Good. Good. There we go. That's grease noise. Good thing you didn't try and use it as flux. Who knows? It might have gone well. Hello, Carthor. I haven't said hello to you. How is the Arduino learning going? So the Arduino, I did a particular project and it all worked. Oh, excuse me, I just banged my microphone. And it all went well. And then I kind of didn't get back to it. And I want to because I really did enjoy doing the Arduino stuff. I was going to do a whole video and everything. I went and filmed some footage and stuff like that. And I may still. We'll just... we'll see. If I can come up with a cool project. Initially, I was going to do a video on the setup, the controller I made for my homemade ultrasonic cleaner, but because I'm not even using that anymore, it's over there. I'm now using this one, mainly because this one's got a heater in it, and it's so much quieter than my homemade one. Spring holes where spring rolls are stored. Could be. I had Jay from the House of Moth contact me once, and he was saying, "What's a dimmy?" Because he was watching an Australian TV show where a guy would go into a shop and ask for a couple of dimmies. And I explained that that's an Australian thing called a dim sim. All right, this is where it all gets complicated. Ish. Okay. Put the bearings into two opposite indents in the case top as shown in figure K. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where? Okay, bearings. All right, look, okay, we're moving. We're getting into like fancy assembly type stuff here now. I don't think this comes with a buzzer. I don't think there is a buzzer in it. So I'm not even going to be able to do beepy continuity checks. So I might have to go and buy one. That's probably what this R34 that's not used is part of. But that's very disappointing. I'm going to have to go and get a buzzer because I can't not have a buzzer. I mean, I don't think it even has a light. Maybe it doesn't even have a continuity test. Yeah. No, it does. But I think, well, sort of. That doesn't actually just... No, it doesn't have a continuity test. Well, that's a bit bad. Right, ball bearings. It's all ball bearings these days. Just remember that. What are the chances of me not losing these? Put them, ball bearings, 1. I think I'm going to have to change my camera angle, aren't I? And 2. Yep, I have to change the camera angle. Sorry. Sorry, peeps. We're getting close, by the way. So if anyone is sitting here thinking, oh my God, is this ever going to end? Yes, it is. It is. It ends with me doing a few rudimentary measurements. All right, so I've done that. Place the 6 slide contactors on the selector knobs as shown in figure K. 6 slide. Okay, there are 6 of them. And they go on 6 of them. Well, okay, cool. God, I hope all 6 are here. I've got this horrible feeling like there's only 5 in here. Come on. 2, 3, 4. There are only 5 in here. I'll have a look in the box. Maybe one's fallen out. Having only 5 of these things is a fairly significant issue because it means that I can't control it properly. I will put it together anyway, but it just means that that's a real bugger. They really should have, I think, in my opinion, put some extras in, because they are so small and so easy to lose. I'm just checking to see if it's fallen out. But hey, Greg, how are you going? I am just discovering that I'm missing a component for this kit, which is going to make it so that this kit doesn't even work properly. Because you've got this thing going on here. You've got this little mazy type thing here, and as you turn the knob, different things make different contact with different things. And if I don't have all of my little contacts, some things will probably work, other things will probably not work. And I am a bit disappointed in that. It's not even like something that I can fashion myself. I sort of get this feeling like it might be stuck to something, or because it is very small. I'm going to write them a letter. So let's put together this soldering on this multimeter that's not going to work. Okay, so place a select knob into the case top so that the springs fit over. Where are the springs? It hasn't asked me to put springs in yet. Oh, it did ask me to put the springs in. Spring number 1. Oh, other side. Spring number 2. I'll put a bit more grease on the top. I do agree. I think kits do need to include spares, certainly of the really small parts. Oh God, I thought it was there for a second. You know, just that fear is that this little part has fallen out. But I suspect it was never there. Well, certainly not for a while. Oh, never mind. So we're going to have a pretty funny working thing here. We're going to go select the knob. It's going to go upwards like that. There we go. And and then I should put the fuse in, shouldn't I? Because I might forget to do that later on. Oh my goodness, it's hot here. Do you have a piezo speaker on a parts board? I can't think of anything that I've got that would have a piezo speaker. That would take some thought. It is possible. But it's not that I think it's going to help anyway. Oh, I don't know. Because there's a resistor there that I would need to put on, and I don't know what the what sort of resistor would need to go there. It doesn't say. Place the PC board over the select. Okay. Place the PC board over the selector knob. Be sure that the 8-pin socket slides into its hole. Okay. So that's that way. Whoa! I heard something go rattling around. That's got to be one of the ball bearings. Let's do that again. Yeah, we lost both ball bearings actually. Right, there we go. That. This is fiddly. You definitely would not be wanting to give this kit to a child. That's for sure. Okay. Frustrating knowing that I am going to have to pull this apart again. Okay, that felt better. I believe we're good there. So, yep, that's nice. Nice clicky. All right. Okay, so I've done that. Insert the fuse. I've done that. Peel the backing off the front label and place it. Then fasten the piece of board with 3 6mm screws. One, two, three. And where does it go? It goes here. Oh, crap. Don't lose it. Why aren't you going in? Yes, I probably should have done that. Put some grease on there, but I'm going to have to pull the bloody thing apart anyway, because I'm going to have to... I'm probably going to have to contact head office of Jaycar about this. Don't put the fuse on too early, otherwise you can't do the screw. Because if I go into the store, they're not going to... Oh, that is the most mangled screw you've ever seen in your life. Far out. It is a very deformed screw. I might be better off with a flathead driver for this one. Oh, bloody hell. Maybe a Torx? Jam a Torx in there? That screw is screwed. Alright, so just put the fuse on, they said. That's what they said. Put the fuse on. And connect the 9-volt battery to the battery. So I've got to stick the sticker on the front, of course. I might clean it for that. And then we can test it. And we'll all be happy and joyous. Times it 12. Jeez, nearly 1 o'clock. Gosh. Here we go. Okay. Ta-da! Doesn't that look fancy? I'm going to get a 9-volt battery, which is included. We've got some leads here. And just a reminder to folks, this is not going to work properly because we don't have all of the selectors there. But we might be able to get it to do some stuff. There we go. All right, we've connected up some power. Let's see what happens if we go to DC voltage. Look at that. Some of these aren't going to work. We know some of these aren't going to work. So let's see if we can do some resistance measurements, eh? So let's get our leads. That one into our red, and that one into our common. There we go. So let's see what happens if I touch these two leads together. Oop. I feel like I had something there for a second. Just not making proper contact in here. It's just all, you know, as has been said, we've got, oh no, it is changing. I can see it's because the little decimal point's moving. I did mention before that it does need calibration, so there's a very good chance that that is the problem that we have here at the moment. What if we go to diode? We seem to be getting nothing from our leads. Should I just stick it in the PowerPoint? I do need a multimeter to test my multimeter. Oh, this is, yeah. That's meant to, is that? Let's put that there. Just going to finish putting it together. So there's a little piece of metal here, adhesive metal. And my guess is that that's meant to be stuck on the other side of this so that when you close the lid like that, that will touch that metal. That's what I'm assuming, but I'm only guessing. Yeah, there is a whole section in this manual about calibration, but I can tell you one thing. I'm definitely not going to go through a lengthy calibration process for a multimeter that's missing parts. I think the very first thing I need to do with this is try and acquire that little missing piece so that these are making contact properly, and then I can go through the calibration process. It basically it's quite a detailed calibration process. I'll just go here and show you. You've got here testing, calibration, and troubleshooting. So you've got all these things here, and then you've got these parts here. So shunt wire calibration, AD converter calibration, this sort of stuff. So I'm just going to turn on my power supply, which is going to be set to, we'll make it 4 volts, how about that? And I am just going to put this onto DC, put it onto 20, and we'll just see what happens, eh? Whoops. Yeah, definitely going to need some calibration first because we're not getting nothing. So anyhow, as I said before, right at the beginning, I am definitely not going to go through the calibration process of this at this stage, because number one, I think that's extremely boring, and number two, I am actually missing a part from this. So I'm going to hunt around and see maybe that part's fallen out on the dining room table or something like that. I'll have a look. If not, I'll then have to get in touch with the guys that I bought this from and say, I'm missing a bit. Can you please send me the bit so I can finish my kit? So how much did the kit cost compared to a pre-assembled one? It was, I'll tell you how much it was, and I'll tell you compared to the cheapest one that they sell. This one was... So the cheapest multimeter they sell at this particular shop, we'll sort by price lowest first. They have low cost digital multimeter, which looks very similar to this one. Very, very similar. That is $16.95. So that's the cheapest one they sell. It's $16.95. And I'm going to say it really looks like it's probably just the guts of this one. The kit is $40. So you're paying an extra, what is it, $25 for the privilege of assembling it yourself. But of course, you know, it's all about the fun, isn't it? Do you have Harbour Freight? No, we don't. Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I'm not sure I've ever ended up in a situation where a kit for something that I've got was actually cheaper than doing it, except for maybe assembling a Blue SCSI. So often with these things, you know, sort of you can get them for so cheap assembled. It's like you're paying for the privilege to assemble it yourself. But I don't really mind that. I do it for the fun. So. Right, there we go. And yeah, so anyhow, I am going to wrap this up now. I want to thank everyone for watching. So it is just uncomfortably warm in here at the moment, so I'm going to have to get up into some air conditioning. Please leave comments. Let me know if you think this was, you know, sort of an extremely dull and boring thing for me to do, or whether you want to see more. I am going to do at least one more because I do have a kit on the way. And as I say, it is a Bluetooth speaker kit. Comes with a little plastic case and everything like that. And I'm going to be putting that one together. That is coming in from Amazon. Oh, I didn't see you there, GT. G'day, GT. And that was pretty much it. I can't really test this properly because I am missing a part from it. That is a bit of a shame, a bit disappointing, but that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And hopefully I'll be able to get that spare part, put it together, and then I can have a cute, cheap little multimeter to fiddle around with. You can I can buy kits in bulk from AliExpress. Yeah, AliExpress has some fantastic kits. A good place to check out if you are looking for kits. AliExpress is a good place to have a look. I'm generally looking for the interesting ones. I'm looking for things that are become something functional at the end of it. I don't like just building kits for the sake of it, like flashing lights or making a cricket sound or something like that. You know, I like something that turns into something that is actually practical at the end. So anyhow, thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining me for this little experiment. I hope you did enjoy yourself. The chat has been nice and lively, so I appreciate that. And I will most probably be live streaming this weekend, this coming weekend. It is Tuesday here at the moment. and I hope to see you there. So let's see if I can remember how to stop the live stream. Of course, I'm using OBS and I'm still getting used to it. So thanks again, everyone. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye-bye.